Hello, everyone. Welcome to New Gameplay Today. My name is Marcus Stewart. I am joined by Wesley LeBlanc. Hello.
Hello, hello. I am so excited.
You have a good reason to be because we are looking at Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree, which I got to play. I got to travel to Los Angeles a week or two ago to play
Yeah.
about 3 hours of the expansion. As a note, we are not looking at my gameplay. This is edited B-roll that was provided by Bandai Namco. But
This is Miyazaki playing, right?
yeah, this is what they said in the note. They're like, yeah, this is him just sort of showing off, basically. So what's exciting about this, because I've gotten a chance to watch it before we're recording, and I was looking at things where we're going to be seeing things that I got to do as well as things that I did not find or may or may not have been available in the demo. And that's kind of the thing with this game, is that it's very much like the original game. There's a whole lot of stuff hiding beneath the
Yeah.
surface of this game. I can't say that I did get to fight this thing, and I failed miserably. This thing's super hard. And if you go to GameInformer.com, I have a full written preview that goes a lot more in depth about my experience with this game. But I will say, overall, I have the most boring take imaginable in that Shadow of the Erdtree is more Elden Ring, and it's very fun.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's all I wanted. I just want more Elden Ring and a reason to go back into this game even after 160 hours.
Yeah. So to start the expansion, you have to have beaten Radon and Mog. That's like the only prerequisites, and then you go to the God, what is it? Malguin? I don't know how you pronounce it, but you know where Michaela's,
The palace.
yeah, where Michaela's like
Yeah.
egg thing is. And to start the expansion, you just go there, and there's like a character there that prompts you to like, hey, you should touch Michaela's arm. And then once you do, it'll warp you to the Land of Shadow, which is where Shadow of the Erdtree takes place. It's a brand new landmass. You see here some new enemies all over the place. And in the 3 hour session I had, we could just roam around the landmass. I don't know how much was like available or what was like locked off to us, but they pointed us towards two major castles that I got to visit because they each had like the two sort of big bosses. I mean, there's probably more bosses in the game, but at least in that build, we'll see one of them later on. But even this section here, like this little dungeon, I did not find this. And one of the most exciting things about playing this game, outside of the fact that it's more Elden Ring, that game that was really good,
Yeah.
was talking to other journalists that were at the event afterwards. And every person I talked to had a different discovery that the other person did not have. So whether it was
Yeah.
like, oh, I found this cool boss, or I found a weird character, or I found a cool dungeon, or just like zone, like everyone had something that I had not found. Sort of speaking to like, okay, this thing seems like it's gonna be big. Like even this kind of swampy area, I did not find this. I don't know if it was in a demo or not. It's like the thing where it's hard to say. There are some like areas that I did peep on the horizon that were inaccessible, but were pretty clearly explorable just because I saw like characters moving around down there. So that was
Yeah.
like tease, but look at this guy. He's like trying to do a YMCA thing with you.
That is kind of when I finished Elden Ring, that's almost exactly what my character looked like.
Wait, really?
Yeah, because I was running like a weird build to beat Millennia, just taking off armor so I could move faster, and I had that prisoner head still because it's one of my favorites because it's so stupid looking. That was weird. I was like, was that me? Is that me? Because that looked identical to my final character.
Yeah,
That's
they call
awesome.
that the LeBlanc build.
Yeah, it's a good build. So is there anything happening? Did you get to play with any of the, I don't know if there's a new classes or like weapons or anything like that that felt distinct from the base game? I mean, I know your impression is like, this is more Elden Ring, but I'm curious if there's anything that stands out as like, oh yeah, this is new for Erdtree.
Yeah, so the characters they gave us, so they had three pre-built like late game characters. One was the warrior class, which is already in the game, and then the other two were the new knight class and the sorcerer class. I played as the warrior class just because that fits my personal playstyle as like a more sort of dexterity focused build. But the game has
Yeah.
over 100 new weapons, and you can also bring those weapons into the base game. And my warrior had he had a new weapon that I really loved called a God, I'm trying to remember. It was basically like a bear paw that like a severed bear paw that he wore as a glove, and it basically just let him unleash these like really fast paced and like aggressive attacks. Like in my preview, I described it as feeling like a one-armed Wolverine.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
Yeah, like it's just meant to come at people. Like just I was like breaking through their blocks and stunning them, and just like you're just supposed to lay on the offense with that thing. And I was a really big fan of that until later on in the game when I fought an invader, like a this like Fire Knight guy, and he had this like two-handed broadsword that could light people on fire. And when I beat him, I took his sword, and then that became my main sword for the rest of the games. It was like this really big sword that had a lot of reach, and then every time you hit someone, they just instantly just burst into flames, and it felt really cool.
Yeah. So I'm seeing. I'm curious if you noticed. I mean, it seems this expansion is wide. I'm curious how the verticality is, like, because we just saw whoever this is like scale a really tall building. Did you get the sense that it's not just a wide play arena, but like lots to explore up and down too?
Yeah, there was one of the major castles. We're actually near it with this NPC. Was up on sort of like an elevated plateau, so you kind of have to work your way uphill to get to it. And then there's now that I think about it, the other castle that was called I think Castle Insis. I don't know how to pronounce the names. I only read them on screen. But that one was also like you could only access it through like an elevated bridge, at least as far as I could find.
Okay.
And that was another one that was a bit of an uphill climb. So I guess it does seem like there's some like a decent amount of verticality.
Did you get to speak to anyone at all about this, or was it just like a here play the game?
Yeah, it was just Bandai there. Nobody from was in attendance, unfortunately.
Gotcha.
But that guy we just talked to, he is standing in front of what are called it's like these crosses of Mikola, and they're like scattered all over the landmass, like those tall columns of light, and they're pretty much, or they're supposed to be like the footprints of Mikola, excuse me. And he's kind of like, hey, like he gives you a map that shows you where they all are, and he's like, hey, you should go find all these. And there's another character that I met later on that's like, hey, if you find new ones, come tell me. And maybe I don't know if he gives you anything, but he's
So there's two characters asking you to do the same thing. I wonder if
well,
there's like story implications for who you side with or something.
Well, there's other characters, like all the characters I meet are all like, hey, we're here to follow the footprints of Mikola the Kind. Like we're really into what he was doing, basically.
Yeah.
So maybe it's almost like it seems like a pilgrimage of sorts for them, Like one person I met was like, oh yeah, I used to work for Radon, but now I'm doing this, so maybe I'll help you out. Like they become an NPC summon later. And right now we're in this I believe it's called like Beirut Castle Settlement. This I did get to play, and this is where one of the big bosses are. I spent probably 2/3 of my demo time in this kind of giant castle complex. Like in classic From Software.
It seems like this is like a legacy dungeon, basically. I think is what they call them.
It's very big. It's a lot of like winding paths, and this is the warrior class that I used.
Ooh, that's cool.
Yeah,
that's
I think he's got the bear
like
claws,
a Street
too.
Fighter or Tekken fighter or something.
Yeah, okay, yeah, he's got the axe, which is what weapon I had. You could throw it, which is really useful. I was lobbing that thing like I was Thor, or maybe Kratos in the new God of Wars.
Oh my God, they're so fast.
Yeah, that's the bear claw.
Whoa, that's nuts.
Yeah, I liked using that thing a lot. You just tear it, just stay on him pretty much. Like, nope, don't hit me.
How did you feel jumping back into Elden Ring? I mean, I presume since basically 2022. I mean, have you played Elden Ring since, or this is your first time in a while?
I played some before the event, like the week of, because I wanted to get my feet wet, and I didn't want to waste time at the event, like getting reacclimated to the controls. So I spent like a night just sort of running around and doing stuff. But that had been the first time I played it since I beat it in 2022, and I put like 150 hours into my playthrough. I only beat it once, so like when I start the expansion, I'll have my like my one character that I had,
Yeah.
who was pretty strong, and these things suck. These like these weird like bugs / like crone things.
Yeah, we have those in Florida, especially right now that it's basically summer.
Yeah, when it gets really muggy outside, you see them all over the lakes and stuff. They suck.
Yeah. Did they say anything about New Game Plus and stuff, because traditionally from expansions, if you are in New Game Plus and you start an expansion, that expansion has New Game Plus scaling, which kind of a nightmare because obviously New Game Plus is much harder. And I'm curious if they have. I don't think they've clarified it around Shadow. I think we're all just kind of assuming that's going to be the case. But I'm curious if you learned anything about that.
No, not really. I'm not sure about that. And admittedly, I don't have a New Game Plus character because I didn't start that at the time, so it wasn't like it's not something that is a concern for me. But from what I remember, that wasn't brought up when they were sort of explaining the game.
Well, PSA: if you have a New Game Plus character, there's a good chance you might not want a New Game Plus character for an expansion.
That was the fear from other journalists too. Yeah. So we're looking at the boss of this area, which is this divine lion thing.
Is this the one from the trailer, or is this? It might be actually. Yeah, same spikes and stuff. Okay, cool. This is exciting.
Yeah,
This thing is terrifying.
He's really hard. Yeah. I was not able to beat him, and at a certain point I had to abandon fighting him so that I could explore like the rest of the game before my demo ended or my time ended. So I had to sort of like swallow my pride on that one. But I gave him the old college try a few times, and I got close on a few occasions, but wasn't able to pull him off. I know other journalists were able to beat him, but he was pretty tough.
So cool
he has
how
this
it's like a Chinese dragon with like.
He shifts like elemental styles throughout the fight. Like he'll start shooting lightning and then start shooting like frost attacks. And it's a very chaotic fight.
Yeah, this is sick. This is one of their coolest designs. I mean, all their designs just typically rule, but this boss is great. This music too. The heck, man! Oh my god, I'm so excited.
Yeah, in my preview, I wrote that he kind of reminds me of like a parade float. The way he kind of moves and floats around.
Yeah, and it kind of looks like there's a bunch of different people under him.
That's what I wrote too. Is like he looks like a parade float or like a weird theater prop, like a costume.
Yeah,
there's like little kids under there playing him, but
like a Chinese New Year's dragon or something. Oh, these guys. How are these guys? Little noodle dudes.
I never found these.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I don't know if they were in the demo or not. But yeah, when I saw that, I was like, ooh, these are pretty and weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, the only other thing I'll mention about the expansion, or there's these items called Erdtree Blessing, is like a new progression upgrade thing where you collect them all over the map, and they basically make you sturdier. Like they make it harder for you to take damage and to get staggered during combat. And Bandai Namco kept encouraging us to seek them out. They're like a new item that you can plug into your character. There's another one that I don't remember the name of, but it does the same for your spirit ashes. So that's one of the other. That's one of the big new sort of like, I guess, like progression, like additions to the game, and it only applies to the expansion. Like once you leave this area and go back to the base game, those blessings don't apply.
Interesting. Okay, cool. This kind of just sounds like its own little isolated game, and since it's like apparently 30 to 40 hours long.
Yeah, But yeah, that is Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree. Like I mentioned before, check out my in-depth preview on GameInformer.com. The game launches later this June. I believe it's, June? June
22nd, I think? 21st or 22nd?
Yes, I should know. June 20th is when it launches. So yes, it'll be out now for all platforms that Elden Ring is on. And I'm very much excited to play more of it.
Me too.
And yeah, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on New Gameplay Today. Bye, guys.
Bye.